about you. So tell us, how did you start getting interested? The journey to Mayor Bryan Bane. How did that start?
Well, to be honest with you, growing up and being uh, here in Fort Payne, I was born here in Fort Payne, been here all my life, and I never ever had an aspiration to be in politics, much less be the mayor.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's interesting.
but in my 37 years at Foodland, I was fortunate to be able to work 37 years at Foodland, and I got to know the public and got to work with the public and made a lot of connections, made a lot of relationships with folks, and did a lot of volunteer work, different organizations. I'd get out and help raise money and do different things, and was able to see a benefit of getting out and helping folks. So, I just had the inkling one day. I thought, well, maybe I run for council and get on the council and be able to
Yeah.
to help.
What year was that?
That was in 2016.
Okay, so not
I
that
did,
long.
Yeah, it's not. I just I did one term on the council, and now in
So that wasn't punishment enough.
that wasn't punishment enough. So I decided
instead of
to
getting
just
spread
put,
out to 5 people,
you know,
let me be the single
say
part.
everything
just
be
jump
my
on in
fault.
the deep end and
No pun intended.
and hit and be mayor.
So has it been? I know you had to have known from council time. All right, I'm gonna take some shots here.
Oh yeah.
Did it really ramp up when you went from council to mayor?
It did, and I guess probably the one thing that I had to really think about the most is, I guess by nature I am a people pleaser.
Yeah.
I want to, I want everybody to be happy.
Yeah.
I want everybody to get along, to be able to play together, and just all of it to work.
Yeah, for everybody. Win-wins.
And I had to.
So when
to
did you
reside.
get jaded?
I had to reside in the fact that being
ain't
mayor,
happening.
it ain't happening. No matter how much,
51%.
no matter how much you want it to,
Yeah.
it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And you just have to be okay with it. And I made the determination and the decision when I first became mayor that every decision I make, number one, I'm going to pray about.
Yeah.
I'm going to pray about every decision that I make. And if I feel good about it and I can lay my head on my pillow at night and go to sleep, then that at the end of the day, that's all I can do.
And really, that's all anybody can ask of a
Right.
mayor. You're going to have a disagreement. So, in fact, we're going to have a disagreement right now. So, I got some headshots. We did headshots down at the chamber yesterday. Did you get headshots yesterday?
I did.
Okay. So, Chamber of Commerce offered headshots for, which that's not the type we were talking about 2 weeks ago with the JFK stuff. But this is, so I got some headshots. Sorry.
Too soon.
It's too soon. No, that's 50 years ago. It's surely not too soon now. So here's some. So we're going to take a vote on the best headshot. I wanted to get some pictures. You said you didn't have any. I wanted to test out our new video screen here. So I pulled some offline, and they're not real great. So here we got the tie, red, white, and blue tie. You're behind City Hall. So that's a fairly recent one, I guess. That looks.
That grass sure
Right,
is
that was
green.
right after I became
Is that when that
became
was?
mayor.
Okay, so there's
Okay.
there's option one.
Okay.
Then we got option two. I think you're over at Little River here, maybe.
right,
There's a river behind you. So option two, that's more casual look.
right.
And then we got option three, which is very patriotic with the American flag. That's the same day, isn't it? Because that's the same tie.
Yes, same,
Okay.
same day.
You got
So-
that Nathaniel Ledbetter look.
Yeah. Bryan Bane for governor.
See, he's ignoring me trying to get on the show, so I'm going to take a shot at
Take
him.
a shot at him.
So you can come back. And
All right, so
get me
Holly,
back.
I got one, we got two, and we got three. What do you vote?
I
Which
vote
is your
three.
favorite?
I
You
like
vote three?
Yeah,
You
very
like it? You
patriotic. I think he
Steve?
could be the governor.
And anything that's got the flag in it, I'm all for it.
It's got the flag. You know, well, it's already won, so it doesn't matter what my vote is. But
Yes, it
I
does.
like actually two with
casual.
the stream, the casual look. You know, so anyway, so we voted for number three. That's the patriotic one. So our video works. Hey, Holly,
Yeah,
how about that?
Yeah, it's great.
We're fancy up in here,
That's
man.
right.
Or, we probably shouldn't act so stunned. Wait a
Wait
minute,
till
it
next
worked.
week.
It worked.
Let's just stop and think about
I'm
this.
really. Let's just celebrate the win.
Yeah.
Let's celebrate the victory. If y'all knew how much stress that we running We are trying real hard to produce a
You talk.
quality.
You talk about stress.
Welcome to my world.
That's right.
Everybody's like,
You
this is
stressed
nice.
over a
This is-
picture?
We're just
Nothing.
playing. This is just playing.
Easy peasy.
So here, I've got a question. So another question. Steve, you got anything?
Well, I
Go
want
ahead.
to give him kudos on. I saw your, I don't know it, podcast when you were explaining.
Moments with the mayor or something.
Yeah,
the
that's it.
moments
Moments
with
with
the
the
Moment
mayor.
with the mayor. Yes.
When it was on the WZLB website, and I'm sure it's on.
Yeah, I
the others.
posted it.
When you were you were explaining very transparent about the problem with the pool,
Right.
and then you even gave your cell phone number. I
Right.
said, "Wait, did he just give his cell phone number?" So,
Did it
Yeah.
blow up?
Oh yeah. I had.
which is worse, the sidewalks or the pool? But I guess the pool, because the sidewalks being fixed.
Well, they could run a close race.
Okay.
It could be a close race. There's this year has
Improved your prayer
proven,
life.
Yes, most definitely has improved my prayer life.
Yeah.
Did you know I worked at that pool when it first opened?
Really?
My junior and senior year of high school. I was
What year was that?
80. Was it 88, 89, 89,
I
90?
don't think so because
I
it
think-
was late '80s is when the
Oh,
pool
it was
done.
popping then. It was popping, and it was the old field, Sawyer Field. Is that what that was?
Yeah, that's
Yes.
Fort
Mhm.
Payne
I
played
played-
there before the city athletic field.
Is that right?
That's another trivia.
I played.
question.
Yeah, I played t-ball on right underneath the pool when I was
Yeah.
5 and 6 years old. So, you want to jump in or?
Sure.
No pun intended.
I mean,
I mean, I think you've gave as good of an explanation as anybody could expect.
Right.
And that is,
We're throwing you a life preserver.
we want it to be open. We are
Right.
trying to get it back open. We are looking at every option and trying to be fiscally responsible. What else is
right,
there to
I
say?
mean, yeah. There's not much else you can say, and you know, I went over there, like I said, this past summer and looked at the place because I don't have kids to go to the swimming pool, and I don't have a reason to go to the swimming pool, so
Yeah.
I'm not ever over there.
Yeah.
And I went over there and looked and realized, hey, you know, we need to do some updating over here because it was just like it was when it was
Yeah.
done when you
30
first
30-something years
yeah,
ago.
worked there. So you can't expect it to be, you know, a grand and glorious place to be at. So
Wear
I
and tear.
got with our building and maintenance crew and asked them to go over and look at it and, you know, paint the bathrooms, put new fixtures in, put new, you know, paint the
Mhm.
building, just update it to where it's not so drab looking and
Mhm.
something that somebody wants to come and be a part of. So in that process, you know, I was told that, you know, the pool had a leak in it and we needed to close a week early. So we closed the pool a week early, had the folks come in, they dug up where the possible leak was at. And turns out it wasn't just a little leak, it was several leaks, and the whole gutter system of the pool had failed.
Mm.
And so, and I'm not a pool person, so, you know, all I know is,
Well,
okay,
Bryan was
we
a pool
need to,
boy, but
Yeah.
we need to, I never was even a pool boy, so we need
Golly.
to fix, you know, whatever it is we need to fix.
Yeah.
So,
Actually, was a pool boy, but it was the literal, like not that pool boy, but
Okay.
the one who actually took care of it. Go ahead. Sorry.
but
That's
anyway,
Steve.
you know, we just we want it to be fixed. It's very unfortunate that it's not
Yeah,
going to be open
yeah.
this summer. I wish there was a way we could open it this summer. And as a matter of fact, I'm meeting some other folks over there to look at it and see if there's anything that we can do. But I just feel like that the best thing to do is tackle the whole thing
Mhm.
and look and
Yeah.
say, okay, we need to start over from here.
Yeah. Yeah.
If
All right.
there's not an easy fix.
Well, good. I'm good with that explanation. Steve, you good?
I'm good.
All right. We got Mayor Bryan Bane here on Lunch with Bryan and Steve. We'll be right back and talk a little bit more with the mayor right after this.
DeKalb Fix-It Appliance Warehouse is a mouthful, so Terry and Bobby have decided to drop the Fix-It and focus on giving you the best prices on new appliances. Whirlpool, KitchenAid, Maytag, Amana, LG, Samsung, GE, and more. Up to 75% off retail priced on new scratched and dent appliances. And as your Electrolux and Frigidaire dealer, DeKalb Appliance Warehouse is passing on more savings to you with even more new in-box selections. Need a refrigerator? Come in today and shop our overstocked warehouse. You will not get a better deal anywhere. We guarantee to match or beat any price. In-house service available to all as well. Used appliances will now be available at our previous location on Godfrey Avenue, along with the same computer sales and repairs our customers have come to enjoy. The DeKalb Appliance Warehouse is open weekdays 9 to 5, Wednesdays and Saturdays 9 to 2, located on Airport Road in Fort Payne. Stop treating your home like a storage bin. Make room for living with Wilson Storage. No matter the need or budget, Wilson Storage has the solution for you. They have gated standard units and climate control units. They have security cameras, alarms on every door, and 24-hour access. You can even rent or pay your bill online. Just go to wilsonstorage.com or call 256-845-1530. Wilson Storage is family owned and been serving our community since 1988. Wilson Storage in Fort Payne. With summer just around the corner, it's time to schedule your pool opening with Rawson Pools. With 30 years of experience installing, repairing, and maintaining pools, Rawson Pools is your best choice to keep that backyard getaway the envy of the neighborhood. And for all you who enjoy servicing your own pool, Rawson Pool has a supply store stocked with the highest quality products and materials to keep your pool ready for those hot summer days. Rawson Pool and Supply Store is located in Rainsville on Main Street next to Toke Restaurant. Rawson Pool and Supply Store, the pool professionals.
All right, we're back with Lunch with Bryan and Steve. Got Mayor Bryan Bane here in the studio with us today. Episode 4, Steve. We made it to 4. How about that?
I can't believe it.
Hey, speaking of, we got this big fancy. See, I got your name right here and all that stuff. Spelled it right. But I want to show. Let's see. Can we try our video? Can we try video now? This is really stupid stuff. Can we do that?
What do you mean, try our video?
Try the video part of it, like the actual video with playing audio with it. All right.
Yeah.
So, hey guys, just bear with us. I'm just trying something for fun. I got this stupid video online. We're going to see if this works and gets audio. And Holly, do you want to zoom in on it?
On the television?
Yeah, let's see if it
All right,
works.
there
So
we
these
go.
are just some fails. Maybe you can enjoy this too. It's stupid videos. There's nothing, no point to any of this. And then he kicks it. And so for those of you listening on the radio, he kicks the ball over a fence with his flip-flop. So now he's got one
Are these
flip-flop.
TikTok videos?
I
What
don't
is
know what
this?
it is. I just pulled it off of YouTube.
This is what we waste our time on,
So
right?
my kids do this all the time.
Wow.
The guy hitting a punching bag and falls in his seat. Is that coming through on the radio?
Yeah,
and
it's
on
coming
Facebook?
through. Yeah, it's definitely.
Gotta hurt.
I know, that looks rough.
It's in my
This
ears.
is funny. I like this one.
There. What is
His cubicle is a car. Oh, this is kind of stupid. So we're just watching stupid videos for those of you on the radio, and that's a horrible idea is to show videos on radio. So this is pretty funny right here.
Oh, I've seen this kind of stuff all the time. Yeah. She tries to hide behind a pole.
Watch the TV.
yeah.
Watch the TV screen.
Okay, guys.
All right, we're done.
Yeah, this.
Okay.
I love to sit and watch
You have to
those
go to
videos.
Facebook if you want to see the videos.
Yeah, so that's what my kids have done
Yeah.
all spring break. Is
And now back to the series.
Well, at least
Now we
they're
get
not
back-
rolling yards.
Okay. So here's one thing I wanted to know. Steve, you had a question, didn't you? Or did you? He's got a bunch.
I got a bunch.
Let's go to. Here's what I
I
want.
wanted to thank him about
Go ahead.
all he had done to get that traffic light on
Highway
intersection,
11?
Airport Road and Highway 11.
Hey, it's blinking now.
It's blinking.
Yeah.
So is that so we can start getting used to it? Because
Yes, that's
all of us that
I
aren't.
think they were going to let it blink 3 or 4 days just to get
Mm-hmm.
everybody used to, hey, there's a red light here.
Yeah.
Because either me or Shirley Fowler will be the first one to run right through it because we're used to it. We were talking about that at church yesterday, but we are grateful to have it.
Yeah. So here's a question I have. Acting. How did you get started in that? How long have you been doing it?
I did my 22nd year this year
Of the CAC play?
22nd consecutive year. Yes.
Wow.
Actually, the way I got started was a friend of mine was actually in the play, and Eddie McPherson and I had been friends for quite some time, and they had an opening, and my friend had mentioned to Eddie, hey, you should call Bryan. He said, I never even thought about that. So he called me and asked me if I'd be in that play. The very first play I did was Granny Dollar's Gold. He had wrote a play about Granny Dollar,
Yep.
and that was the very first play that I did, and absolutely loved it. And I've been there ever
They're
since.
fun. They're fun.
They
So
are
is
so
that
much
all
fun.
you've done is just the CACs, or have you done outside of that as well?
Pretty much the CACs.
So that's Children's Advocacy Center. That's the play they run actually at our church every year to support.
Yes, the biggest fundraiser for the CAC, and through that, I was able to get on the board of the CAC.
Sorry.
And have been on the board for 18 years now.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's a great organization, and this is their biggest fundraiser. It's about a third of their budget.
Yeah. So
the
I had
CAC
in my mind. I went and watched the one this year. What was the name of the 10 Chipmunks?
10 Little Chipmunks.
10 Little Chipmunks, which is very funny. And if you've never seen one, please make plans to go watch it and donate to CAC.
Isn't it like a dinner
Yes,
theater?
it's a dinner theater.
theater.
Yep.
That's
So
fun.
A lot of student volunteers from key clubs and places that like that, and really funny. But it occurred to me, and I had this thought, and maybe just that's how weird I am. But you had at the end of the play, and everybody's going up, shaking hands, and taking a bow, and you're what's the guy's name that you were?
I was funny
Forgot his
how
name.
things leave you.
You were the main character,
Yes.
and you were supposedly knocked off in the
Right.
in the
There's
play.
a lot of twists and turns to that.
Yeah, and so you ended up
play,
coming
wasn't
back
there?
at the end, and you've got this like Hawaiian shirt on with a shirt underneath it that shows
Right.
your abs, and so
Right,
you're all
uh-huh.
this flex guy.
Shirt. I didn't have a shirt on. That was
That was you.
that was me.
Come on, give him credit.
But in my mind, I'm like, what? I could just see somebody going up with him dressed like that and go, by golly, Mayor, this swimming pool, that gummit, and you just being dressed up going, I'm just trying to thank people for coming to the play, and now you want to come in here and talk politics. Has that ever happened where people come up?
They do. They'll come up and say different things. And of course,
You're really good in the play, but would you please make sure to fix this?
yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
You have plenty of advisors, don't you?
Oh yeah, lots of advisors, and that's the fun part about it. You get to talk to folks and be part of the community.
Yeah, you can't go anywhere. How does that? You can't really. I mean, you are the mayor
Yeah, I mean,
24/7.
You're
I bet your
24/7.
wife loves that.
Oh yeah, she loves. She's like, okay, if you want me to go somewhere, you better tell me before I get home from work. Because once I get home from work, I'm staying at home.
Do you ever put on a baseball cap and kind of go out like
Can you
incognito?
get incognito?
I can't reveal my secrets. Holly.
Sunglasses,
All right, Steve, you got anything? Because I got something for him.
My only dabble into politics was being on the school board. I didn't realize how political that was. That was for 2 terms, and
I thought you were going to run for mayor this year. You're not going to run?
well, I'm just outside the city limits.
Oh, okay.
You'd be in trouble.
I'm saved
You're
by being just outside the city.
It is a
limits.
Fort Payne address, but I had somebody from FedEx tell me we didn't exist. That's a true story. But I noticed on 85% of the budget was already earmarked, like for the school. So you go in there thinking you're going to do this, that, and the other, and I'm sure that's similar with the city. But I also figured we spent 90% of our time on 2% of the people. So,
And that's about the truth.
That's the way it was the city
That is
too.
about the truth with the city.
That is funny. Well, we had Bryan Jett on our first week, and he talked about that partnership, and that's one of the things. I'm pretty cynical by nature, And we've
Really?
talked about this show. I cannot believe this show's even on 4 episodes. But let's just get it. Welcome to my head.
It's not over yet.
No,
Bryan.
it's true. We're only 30 minutes into this one. We hadn't completed 4. So I'm constantly going around going, okay, something's wrong here. Something's wrong here. Something's wrong here. And when I see, and I can't, it just seems genuine, the relationship between the city and the school systems and the school system, and then how this community works together for, the millage tax renewal that's coming up and all the different things that y'all just partner with. It's very encouraging to see the council, the mayor, the school board, the superintendent, all kind of pulling in the same direction. So,
yeah, Bryan and I, we have a great relationship. We communicate on a regular basis, and when he's got needs and he's got things that come up, he'll call me, and vice versa. I can call him and know that they're going to be there and help out however they can.
Yeah.
The new arena is going to be nice, isn't it?
It will be.
Yeah.
I was going to say that is how things can get done, is working together. When you can go into an office or go into an organization and work together with folks, and that's what I try to promote to everybody. We don't all think alike. We don't all have the same ideas. But that's what makes it unique, and that's what makes it different. But we can all work together, and we can all get together and work for the greater good of Fort Payne.
I would say that the testament of a good council is not that you all agree. It's that you can agree to disagree, that you can come together with different ideas, disagree, and at the end of the day go, okay, well, majority wins, I'm in. I'll support that, and even though it's not my choice, I can get behind it. So here's what we're going to play a little game. You ready?
I'm ready.
I got us a game here, Steve. Holly, you can participate in Mayor Bane.
Oh, good. I love games.
If you've got teenagers, which I do, and you do too.
One.
Have you know the term brain rot? Have you heard of the term brain rot? So we're going to reach out to the younger generation on Lunch with Bryan and Steve right now. So my kids are going to hate this segment. If anybody shows them this segment, they're going to detest it, and they're going to go, Dad, why did you do that? Okay, so there's brain rot terminology out there that you're not going to know. You might know the definition of some of these words. And I'm going to do this to Paul Crawford here in a little bit too, just for fun, because he's a little bit more attuned to the youth, being a high school teacher. So you're not going to know what these definitions are, but these are just words like cool or rad or stuff that we would use, totally to the max, which was a big 80s term.
Right.
What was one that in your generation?
Am I in the 70s?
Yeah, whatever. When you were growing up, what was phrases?
Groovy.
Groovy, yeah.
That's
stuff like that.
70s. Yeah, you said
That's
You remember,
groovy.
what's one of
Like
yours?
that.
You remember
I was
anything?
trying to think back.
That was rad.
That's been a few years ago.
You just
Or
got,
bad.
you got
Hey, man,
sidewalks
that's
and swimming
bad.
pools on your mind.
That's right.
All right, so you're not going to know what it is, but I just want you to give me what you think this brain rot word. So I've got a list.
Oh,
There's
this is
probably 40.
brain rot?
It's a brain rot. So it's just a term that the kids are using these days, and you got to give me your best guess at what you think. I'm going to start easy. So the first word is cringe.
Icky.
Icky?
Like, ooh,
Yeah, cringy,
Yeah,
like
like-
embarrassing.
cringeworthy.
Okay. Yeah, that's something
Embarrassing.
or someone that's embarrassing or awkward. All right,
Awkward.
here's one.
Cringe.
You ready? Delulu. Like she's Delulu.
Crazy.
Delirious.
Close. You're close, Holly.
Deluded.
Delusional.
Delusional. Yeah.
So if I
She
say
ain't
Mayor
right.
Bane is Delulu, that means he's a little bit delusional.
There's been days that
Let's see.
that I
Let's pull
could
up
be
Facebook right now. We
Delulu.
probably see something.
I love it. Okay.
All right. Do y'all know? Here's one. You've had to have heard this. There's a commercial with just brain rot terms, and the guy's cooking dinner for his kids, and they are just going nuts because he's using all these terms in context correctly, and it's driving them crazy. So bussin'. Do y'all know what bussin' means?
That's getting on a bus.
Get,
Clearing the
You
table.
busting them.
I'm bussing every afternoon and every morning with the school system.
like, what are you
What do you think?
bussing?
Like this show is bussin'.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you put it in context like that, like
Okay.
this is a cool show. This
Yep,
is awesome.
it's excellent, delicious, flavorsome,
Yeah.
exceeds expectations.
I would've-
That's it right there.
Yeah, I would have
We
thought
exceed.
like
expectation.
Like
I
you're
thought
cleaning
clearing the
up.
table or
Yeah, that's exactly right. You're cleaning up. Or you got a big group of people and you're going somewhere.
Okay.
You know?
All right. Y'all ready? So doom scrolling. I've heard this before. I've actually preached this in a sermon before. Doom scrolling. You know what doom
Yeah,
scrolling is? Have you heard that before?
I
You know what it is?
have, and I've probably
not.
done it several times. Like
Oh, I'm
you're
sure you-
just
Yes.
like for hours.
Doom scrolling means
you
you're
know,
on a feed and you're just swiping. You're scrolling,
It's wasteful.
and it means you're just not stopping, and you just go for infinity.
I
whatever.
need that word to be in my mind every time I get caught
Stop
in it.
doom
Yes.
scrolling. Now, here's the
Golly,
one that
Holly.
my kids will cringe all over the place. 2 words. Do you know what Riz means? Somebody's gonna Riz you up.
No.
No, give me a guess.
no
What do you
idea.
think it means? What's the
Riz.
context of it?
Riz. Somebody's going to riz you up.
Gonna Riz you up.
I don't know. Cindy's in there. She knows. I bet.
Cindy,
Cindy.
do you know?
Do you know? No, she's
All right, Riz is short. Is she coming?
the Rizzler. No.
Yes, that's part of it.
The
Rizzler,
Well,
rizzing you up.
Well-
Rizzalicious.
Like.
It's charisma. It's short for
Oh,
charisma, meaning that you've got like this,
Okay.
like this really cool aura. That's another word, aura. Your aura is like 1,000, or you lost 500.
I'm
aura.
totally going to start using this,
Oh,
this
please do.
stuff.
Please do. And do it right in front of all their friends. That's fantastic.
Hey, listen,
you
I
should
did
do
it-
that with a bunch
yeah.
of kids. Just go,
Right.
hey guys, I don't know what my Riz factor is, or what my aura is.
Get out of my
So I think we
yard.
got to go to break, Holly.
Oh,
We're
do
over-
we? Oh,
we're
my
over
gosh.
break.
Yes.
Sorry. See,
You're
this
so
is why it's supposed to be
distracting.
fun.
Okay.
All right,
What's
you
the
got one more
producer
segment with
supposed
us?
to
Are you
do?
cool? Hang around. We'll talk about more Risen. All right. You're listening to, we got Mayor Bryan Bane in
And a
studio.
trivia question.
And a trivia question for Mayor Bryan Bane when we come back with Lunch with Bryan and Steve.
My Supply is my hometown hardware store. At My Supply, I never have to wander aimlessly around the store looking for what I need. I know that when I walk through the door, I'm going to be greeted by a person and helped right away. So whether you're looking for plumbing, electrical, hand or power tools, welding supplies, standard or metric fasteners, or anything else to help with your home projects and repairs, shop My Supply on Godfrey Avenue in Northeast Fort Payne. Open Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. My Supply, your hometown hardware store.
This is Robbie Coker with the Fort Payne Wildcats, and you're listening to Lunch with Bryan and Steve on WCOB.
Do you need to declutter? Wish you could free up some valuable space at work or home? Helium Mini Storage has climate control units available, and all their units are gated for maximum protection. You can also store your stuff at home with their Four Seasons or Max Steel storage buildings for sale. Just come by Helium Mini Storage on Galt Avenue in North Fort Payne. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 4. And while you're there, be sure to check out play sets for the kids. Store your stuff with Helium Mini Storage.
All right, Lunch with Bryan and Steve. Brian Northcutt, Steve Chambers here alongside Fort Payne Mayor Bryan Bane, just kind of having some fun with some brain rot words, which we'll put those in the
And what they used to mean.
and what they used to mean, and we'll put them back in the folder. So, Steve, you had a question.
Oh, are you ready for a trivia question?
Yes.
I'm
Mr.
ready
Mayor?
for a trivia question.
All right.
This is a hard one now.
on,
I don't know this one.
on July 1st, 1889, I barely remember this. The first mayor was elected in Fort Payne. And what was his name?
His-
1889.
July
18
1st,
Do you, have to
1889.
know, do you have to go study? They got portraits all over.
We have portraits.
So did
I
you ever
believe-
look at them?
I have looked at them.
So you have a
If you know
photographic
this, I'm gonna be
memory.
pretty impressed. The very
His
first
name was, I believe it was Cyrus Orlando Godfrey.
Oh my lord!
My
I would
gracious.
have just taken Mayor Godfrey. The whole thing. He
Hey,
was.
So is that right?
That is correct.
Okay,
and
good deal.
one. You have to pass a test like the history of Fort Payne to be mayor. Or there any kind of thing? No.
no, because everybody will bring it up to you.
Yeah, 'cause everybody,
their own way.
everybody want all that information.
This
You don't even know who the first mayor was, and you're going to tell me how to spend tax dollars?
he was the first three mayors of Fort Payne were. It was set up as 1-year terms.
Galt, Grand, those the other two.
And Alabama.
And Alabama.
and
Gentry.
So I was just wondering if you wish that was the way it still was.
Well, there are days,
1 year.
recent
one term,
days
one-
that
one year.
one year terms would be nice.
But then,
Wait,
in
1889. That's the
18
first mayor.
yeah.
Isn't that's Boom Days, right?
Yeah,
In
that's
18
that's when we were incorporated as a city. was
Okay, because
1889.
of Boom Days. Help me remember that. Do you know that story? Do
Hence
you know
vintage 1889.
Yes, I know that. Yes.
There you go.
Oh, okay.
Good
You're
job.
you're welcome, Lynn. Just saying.
Free advertising. All right.
We want that bonanza right up there on the screen.
It can be
I want
your-
my bonanza right here in front of me.
Yeah, okay, they're gonna last there.
We did have some food. Yeah. Hey, anybody that wants to sponsor Lunch with Brian and Steve and bring us lunch.
Like last
Be-
week,
Well, that was and sponsor. What's your name,
Yeah.
right? We're gonna
and we not heard from him since.
we'll have the screen
Walter
dedicated
Watson said
to
he was
you.
going to eat because we made him hungry. So we brought you business, Mr. Chrisman Tree.
Oh, we aren't going to make it to 4 episodes, Steve.
We'll never get Mr. Brian Bane back here. will we?
Sure,
All right.
I'm
so-
always a glutton for punishment.
I mean, he runs for mayor. This can't be that bad.
Yeah.
All right. What else is sitting out there? We've talked about sidewalks. We've talked about swimming pool. We've talked about first mayor of Fort Payne. What else are we floating, Steve?
Well, Marshall's is coming.
Yes,
in.
we got
yeah,
Marshall's
Marshall's.
coming to Fort Payne.
Whoop, whoop.
That's big, exciting news, and I've been chomping at the bits to be able to announce that, and finally, last week I think we were
Yeah,
able to
yeah.
actually formally
Yeah,
announce.
Walter was on with us 2 weeks ago and wasn't able to announce it, but he said
He
sitting right
alluded-
there-
he alluded
He
to
said
it.
there's some things that are coming. And
In
then the next-
retrospect, that's what he was
and
alluding.
the next week, John Smith got to do the.
He did the victory
victory-
dance.
the
I
victory-
said lap dance. I didn't know.
Let's please save us.
I was gonna say take a victory lap and do a victory dance, and it came out lap dance. And I said, no, John, no, please don't.
Oh yeah.
Oh me. So we're getting a little
I
bit.
apologize, Mr. Smith.
That's right.
a
That's
good
okay.
man.
That's okay. So, what are your hobbies? What do you do for fun other than?
I don't have a whole lot of time for
You like
much other
What do
than
you like to
You
do?
like to
if-
poke a stick in your eye since
how do-
you're a politician?
I love. Well, I guess probably the main thing I love to spend time with family.
Mhm.
Family's big for me and my wife.
Yeah.
We both came from pretty good sized families, and we try to do as much family stuff as we possibly can.
Yeah.
I'm very fortunate to have both my parents still living,
Mm-hmm.
and we try to spend as much time with them as possible. We have played Sequence, and I don't know if you've ever
I've heard of
familiar
it.
with
I
Sequence.
think I've played that before.
It is a card game, and it is
Yes, I have
very
played that.
fun to play, and it keeps their brains, active and keeps
Mhm,
them, and we'll take them out to eat and do different things. We just family's big for us.
Yeah. 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 There's a good card game if you want it. Dutch Blitz.
Oh, I was about to say.
That's a fun card
That's
game.
the best
It's-
game.
Try that out.
That is, you got to order them online because you can't get it at Walmart. It's some kind of I don't know Swedish game or something. But we
Dutch.
is that what
Is that Swedish?
No, that's not Swedish.
German?
No,
They look like little
Denmark.
German.
no.
Denmark?
Is it Denmark?
Well, who are the
What is
Dutch?
Dutch?
I don't know.
This is a Seinfeld episode. right now.
Holland and Denmark.
Holland. That's
Holland.
it.
Holland.
That's
Yeah,
it.
it's probably
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Anyway,
Kids I work with.
That's when you pay separately.
it's a fun game. So and I think I read this somewhere. Don't you sing at church?
I do. I sing on our praise team.
Okay.
I've been going
I don't think y'all
to-
doing the instruments. No, that's not church.
No, you go to
that's-
Fort Payne
that's-
Family Worship, don't you?
That's a different one. We're gonna stir up everybody today.
Yeah.
This is our last episode.
It was nice while y'all lasted.
Well, we're glad y'all- we did not get to the Paul Crawford segment.
So you sing at church.
I do.
All right. So what are you listening to? What's on your
We do a lot of
Spotify?
praise and worship music.
Yeah.
a
What
lot
you
of
like?
the,
What's your favorite song?
Probably right now is "Thank You, Jesus."
Okay.
It's I'm not
Is that
even.
Charity Gale?
I think so.
Okay. Thank you, Jesus, for the cross.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Um,
Good song. You got any podcasts you're listening to? Do you do podcasts or episodes, binge watching anything? You got
I
no
don't.
time, do you?
No, I just we'll play.
I go to a
yeah.
council meeting.
A
I'm gonna go
meeting
to a
here,
chamber
meeting there,
event.
meeting-
And
Go get it.
counseling.
yeah.
Go to lunch with Bryan and Steve.
Yes.
Get everybody mad in the city.
Yeah, get everybody cranked up. And,
But you
Didn't
got to do
leave.
something. I mean, something's got to be. You said
How do you
family.
decompress?
Like a
Decompress.
fish.
Yeah.
yeah, family and I love to sit and watch like HGTV, the
Okay.
home remodel shows.
Oh.
Okay.
And I guess if I had the money, that's probably what I would do if I wasn't the mayor. I would
Do some
get
remodels?
into remodels and
We're
stuff.
trying to
Like
help you
this
out.
old
on that.
house or
I'd
something?
love to get in and do see the transformation.
That 6-figure salary you make as a mayor, if you had the money, come on now.
Are there term limits on mayors?
There's no term limits.
Okay.
No,
Up
Yeah.
to the voter, is it?
It's the voters
people
have a
speak.
term limit. So
Okay.
I just hope that I've done something
Yeah,
to
yeah.
gain people's trust
Yeah,
and know
absolutely.
Have you decided if you're going to run again or not?
that I'm most likely going to run again and seek re-election.
You heard it here
and
first.
Hopefully
Breakings.
A definite
hope-
maybe.
yeah,
Holly, cut that one out and put it on.
Hopefully the people will see that I am out there trying and
Yeah, yeah.
nobody's perfect. No decisions ever made is probably the most perfect decision. But I can tell you, I love Fort Payne.
Yeah.
And it's home to me. It's where my heart's at, and I'll do it as long as I'm allowed to.
Yeah. Hey,
Are you ready to announce a Fort Payne Cinema 10 coming to Fort Payne?
I would love
he's
to
hitting
have
everybody up.
cinema.
He's gonna
10.
strong arm everybody in here about getting. a
I will
theater.
tell you this: I have met with 2 different movie companies,
There you go.
and
Do you
trying
need Steve to go with you next
try,
time?
trying to
That's what scared
encourage
them
them.
off. There you go.
And I've actually got somebody coming in town probably in May to look at some property
Okay.
to hopefully get something started. So
Hey, when is the? I think Walter and John both mentioned this. The repaving of downtown and all the way from north.
That will
to
be
south.
Christmas season. Is that correct?
Is that what-
we are hoping. I have been not officially told,
right in the
but
Black Friday, right? That's when
yeah.
they're gonna start.
Unofficially, that they should start that project in 1st of June, and it is going to be a night project. They are going to do the paving at night,
Okay.
so it'll be at least impactful to the downtown.
Yeah.
I know the sidewalk project has been impactful, and we've tried to encourage folks to get out and visit these downtown businesses, especially during the shop the times that the sidewalks are being worked on.
Yeah.
I know right now I came by today and they're in front of Pete's Alley in that area there, and they try to get a section done and get it opened back up so that they can
Yeah, I wish they'd do that.
not
I
in-
can't get out of the church parking lot.
not impede the
Trying to leave the
traffic.
office, and
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's-
good night. Where are these people coming from? They're all over the place. And I'm like, oh yeah, they're rerouting from downtown.
Right. And I've tried to tell people to be patient. It's change.
Mm-hmm.
It's something but sidewalks are going to be so much better once it's done.
And I've noticed downtown. Seems like when we first moved back here in 2013, so I've been back about 12 years now. And it seemed like downtown was a storefront. Somebody tried to put something in there, didn't work.
Right.
Somebody tried to put something in the same place, didn't work. But it seems like there's some traction
Right.
grabbing in the Main Street area
There's some
now.
momentum has picked up, and I want to be able to keep building on that and keep it going, because if your downtown's vibrant and thriving,
It's
then
wonderful.
You can do lots of things.
It's very, very pleasant to just go down and walk
Especially
the
at
street.
night,
Yeah.
it's a Hallmark card.
Yep.
So, all right, Miss Holly, are we ready? I think we're ready for. Well, thank you.
Well,
That was
thank y'all.
It was a lot of fun. This was
Thank y'all.
exactly what we wanted, and good to get to know you and let everybody out there get to know you. And so, thanks for coming on Lunch with Bryan and Steve.
Thanks for the invite.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, very much so. So we're going to go to break. We'll come back, reset the show for the second hour. You're listening to Lunch with Bryan and Steve. We'll be right back.
Stop treating your home like a storage bin. Make room for living with Wilson Storage. No matter the need or budget, Wilson Storage has the solution for you. They have gated standard units and climate control units. They have security cameras, alarms on every door, and 24-hour access. You can even rent or pay your bill online. Just go to wilsonstorage.com or call 256-845-1530. Wilson Storage is family owned and been serving our community since 1988. Wilson Storage in Fort Payne.
Hi, this is Bryan Jett, Superintendent for Fort Payne City Schools, and you're listening to Lunch with Bryan and Steve. So long.
Cheers.
Adios.
Bye, Felicia. Don't let the door hit you.
More and more people are saying goodbye to pests with Safe Solutions Plus LLC. And it's no wonder with their top-notch customer service, quality products, and lower prices. And now with their new website, it's never been easier to manage your pest control service with Safe Solutions Plus. Just visit sspestandtermite.com to view your billing details, make payments online, and review past services. Family owned and operated, Safe Solutions Plus is located at 934 Main Street West in Rainsville. Call 256-638-7378. Safe Solutions Plus, protecting homes and businesses one solution at a time.
Okay, then. Bye.
This is WZOB Fort Payne, 100.9 FM and 1250 AM.
All right, we're back. Lunch with Bryan and Steve, second hour, episode 4. We are back in studio, live, WZOB Radio, 1250 AM, 100.9 FM. If you go to WZOBradio.com and look for the Listen Live button, you can catch us on there live. We're also Facebook live streaming, and finally, Holly has got us archived on not Facebook, YouTube. Archived on YouTube, and I think today Tim is recording us live, and we're going to try to look at maybe getting it on a podcast episode as well, so you could just listen to us on that as well.
Like
so
Spotify, is that
maybe.
that kind of a...
Well, I know the Apple one. I don't know how to do all of that, so we are
either.
absolutely.
Blind.
This is as bootleg as it can be. we are not organized. We are just swinging like you're just slinging stuff everywhere.
That's what it is to work with you, Bryan.
Exactly.
By the skin
Holly
of
wants
your
the
teeth.
program. I'm like, program? I don't know what we're gonna do next.
Right.
Like I bring in a TV, so we got this real pretty TV up here
Yeah.
that we can show videos on. And Holly, did you send me that video? We could.
I did. Well, I sent it
I'll try
to you on your text, and I sent it to you on your email. You want me to share it to you on Facebook?
So yeah, I don't know. It's got to be certain context to do it. Let me show you. So here's I was going to tell you that when I went a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about basketball in the Sweet 16, and I don't know if Paul Crawford has bracketology in his DNA, but we'll find out here in a little bit. But my boys and I, because of the season that our favorite team, Auburn, is having this year, I really wanted us to be able to say we got to go to a game. Well, you can't go to Neville Arena for less than $500-600. I mean, the nosebleeds for the Alabama-Auburn game in Neville Arena were 1,000.
You should put more seats in it.
That's
That's
crazy.
They could go right back across the street because there's 15. I know, 15 grand across the street at the old Beard Eves. But so the only way we could go see was, and actually was fairly affordable, was to go to Nashville. So we went up and watched them in the Memorial Gymnasium at Vanderbilt a couple of weeks ago. Actually, probably a couple months now. And they won, and it was fun. And because of 2 years ago, we went to the same game. And we knew where the team bus was. So we got to go out there, and there weren't a lot of people. So it was probably 50 or 60 fans lined up on this barricade, and all the players walked right by and took autographs. We got to meet Janai Broom, Dylan Cardwell, all of them, Todd Pettiford, Denver Jones, Chad Baker-Mazzara, all of them. Well, we're watching the game, and, of course, Nashville is just covered up with celebrities, right? And so they show this person in a box, and it's Nate Bargatze. So do y'all know who you don't know who Nate do you know who Nate Bargatze is?
When you said in a person in a box, I thought you were talking about
Paul
Saturday Night Live
Paul
skit.
Crawford. You know who Nate Bargatze is, right?
Who was it that was living in a box in the 80s? Living in a cardboard
You
box?
know Nate Bargatze, right? You know, how do y'all not
that?
know? All right, he's a comedian. He was on Saturday Night Live twice. He's been on the George Washington skit that everybody threw around on YouTube.
Is that the one where he's talking about
You want to show it to us? Because I have no idea.
Yes.
have a foot in a yard?
Okay, so
All
here,
right.
so I got a picture.
Right.
Oh, okay, cool.
So this is Nate Bargatze. This is at the Vanderbilt game. So
Oh, yeah.
Y'all have heard of him. He's a very,
Totally
very
seen
popular-
him. I just
That
didn't
looks
know
like
what
Jon
his name
Stewart.
was. Wait, let's
He
zoom
is-
in. Yeah, he's funny.
he's extremely funny.
Yeah.
And he is just exploded all over. So they show him on the screen, and we walk down towards the exit, and my son Lewis, who's in this picture with me, says, "Hey, Dad, he's got to be right here." He looks and sees this is the box. He said, "I'm gonna go find him." All right, because that's his mom, right? You know, he is Claire's son.
Oh, yeah.
So he just starts chasing him down, and he says, "Hey, Dad, I found him." And so we have to go take a selfie. So that's Nate Bargatze. He's one of the probably the hottest comedian in the country right now.
Yeah, he's pretty clean, too,
Yes,
isn't
he's
he?
very clean.
Yeah.
He doesn't have any cussing. He tells stories, and they are real. They are very vanilla. They're very dry. There's really not any humor in the story. It's the way he tells the story.
Oh, that's right. The Saturday Night Live George Washington thing.
Yes.
Or is it George
Yeah,
Washington?
he goes, "We're going to
thing.
have a sport called football." Football? Yeah, you play it with your hands.
Right, right. It was,
You
it
use
was
your feet?
hysterical.
Well, every now and then you use your feet, but not much. Well, how many points when you use your feet? Well, sometimes 1, sometimes 3.
Right.
And that's the
It's like, why is that
stupid.
funny? I don't know, but it was. Yeah.
So that's Nate Bargatze. So we got to do that over spring break. I mean, not over spring break. I didn't do nothing over spring break. I sat around here.
This
Thought I was
still
going to
is
get my.
spring break,
I know
isn't
it. I thought I was going to get my dog out of the vet after getting attacked, but he's not out yet. So
Your dog got attacked
yes.
by another
yes,
dog?
Yes. So
You have a little dog.
I do, and he didn't fare well. So
Which dog was it? The
Otis.
black
Yeah.
black one?
yeah, the black one,
What was his name?
Otis.
Otis, yeah.
He's better now, and we're hopefully going to get him out here soon. But he got a hold of one that was quite bigger. So anyway, we're hopefully getting him out soon. So
Have you ever heard of George Carlin doing the comparing football and baseball?
Yes.
Baseball's on a diamond, football's on a gridiron.
Yeah. Yeah.
For
it's funny.
baseball, I just want to go home. In football, I want to get in the end zone.
Yeah.
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 Anyway, I won't
That's
go through
funny.
that.
No, that's a good one. That's a good one. But Nate Bargatze, he's got a podcast that he does, and he does it with a kid. Like I say, a kid. He's probably in his 40s now. His
That's a
name's
kid to
have
me.
y'all heard of Dusty Slay? Have you heard of Dusty Slay? He wears a trucker hat. He's got a long mullet and a beard.
That's
and
a
wears
wrestler, isn't it?
That's straight up his name. But he went to
That's
Opelika.
gross.
I taught him in Algebra 2. And he and Nate Bargatze do this podcast together. And I had him at Opelika High School back 20 years ago.
Well, that laid the foundation
That's
for
right.
success.
All that trigonometry, just trajectory sent him straight to the top.
That sent me. Oh man, that was rough.
All right, you're listening to Lunch with Bryan and Steve. Bryan Northcutt, Steve Chambers here in our first segment. We talked last hour before Brian Bane came on. We talked about sponsorships, and we would love to partner with you guys. So as you are connecting with us and seeing what's going on with Lunch with Bryan and Steve, hopefully you're enjoying it. We're trying to be informational and also fun. Try to learn what's going on in the lives of people from Fort Payne and DeKalb County, but also cutting up a little bit. So are we already on a break?
Are we? Wait a minute. What
No,
time
we-
is it?
it's-
No,
well,
it's just
we got plenty
it's
of
7
time. I
after.
thought you were
got
starting to cut up the
no,
music
no.
here.
I'm no. This is you. When you
Oh,
see me
that's-
touching this
okay, I
one,
got
it's
I
you.
got you. So right here on our brand new TV, well, it's not brand new TV. It's new to us, but we have we'll have sponsors. So we'll have segment sponsors every 15 minutes. So if you'll notice, the show's broken up into 8 segments, 4 in the first hour, 4 in the second hour. We have one segment sponsor, full sponsorship that's already covered. We'll introduce that sponsor next week. Real excited about that. We've actually added several advertisers in the last 2 weeks, and you'll hear those commercials as we go to break. If you're listening on Facebook, please don't turn your radio down. Turn your audio down. Listen to those sponsors. Go and go to those businesses.
Let them know where you heard it.
Yeah, let them know where you heard it, so that we can build some some rapport in the community. But we want to partner with you guys. If there's anything that we can do, if you're a business that serves meals and you want to plop that meal right here, it won't cost you a whole lot of money. If you've got drinks and you want to put a drink cup right here, we're everything's for sale around here. You can
Brian's
name
for
the
sale.
studio if you got enough money. So anything you want, hey buddy, it's all for sale.
Oh, Brian, you're such a businessman.
No comment, Steve. Everything's for sale.
Okay, that's
Okay,
a great plug.
except for one thing, and that's not true. So
She cannot be had.
so anyway, bracketology. Did you do brackets?
Nope.
Nope. Okay, so we're going to talk brackets now because Paul ain't going to talk about them. So we got.
I'm serious. I'm taking my glasses off here.
Paul's already here. You
on
can
and
see him.
sit
Say
down.
hey, Paul.
Giving Coco a plug.
The great Paul Crawford.
The great Paul Crawford. We'll talk to him here coming up next segment, which is not sponsored right yet, but it will be next week. So we got
Fort Payne
Sweet
High
16.
School.
Huh?
Fort Payne High School.
That's right.
sponsored.
Sweet 16 starting. We're going to do this fast because evidently that was the most boring segment of the week last week, which was sitting there grinding through all of those.
Man.
Holly just said,
Well,
"Man, that
to-
was
I
so
like,
long."
Oh, my eyes were
Well,
rolling back in my
to these
head.
non-athlete,
All right, let's
these
just
non-athletic supporters.
so let's just kind of cut down. We got we got South, East, West, and Midwest. Have those always been? I wonder if those are always the titles.
It
of
wasn't
those.
always Midwest, but it has been lately.
Yeah, I'm not sure how they pick those
All right.
directional. Let's just go straight to
Auburn, Michigan.
Yeah, let's go straight to the whole thing and say who's going to the Final Four. So you got in the South, you got Auburn, Michigan, Ole Miss, and Michigan State. Out of those four, what do you think?
Well, I'm going to say Auburn will beat Michigan, and I'm afraid Ole Miss's run is over.
Yeah, that may be right.
So,
So who do you
it'll
got
be
coming out of the South?
Auburn, Michigan State, and then I'm going to go with Auburn.
You're going to go Auburn?
It hurts me. but
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to not let my heart make this pick because I really want to think that Auburn has recovered from the lapse they've had in the last. And it looked like in Creighton, they kind of came back to where their form was before.
Just because you don't know a team's nickname doesn't mean they're not good. 'Cause we struggled with Grand Canyon last year. I don't know. Who were they? The Yellowstones? I don't know. But
Yeah.
they were good.
All right, so I think we both probably. I think Auburn. Even if I take my Auburn or orange and blue glasses off, I think they're coming. So let's go over to the. Let's go down to the West. We got Florida, Maryland, Texas Tech, and Arkansas. Arkansas is the Cinderella in the Sweet 16 right now. Coach Cal, man, put it on St. John's, and it wasn't like they pretty well dominated them. It wasn't close. But who do you got coming out of that West bracket?
Well, I don't believe they're going to beat Texas Tech. So I believe.
Think their runs up.
I believe Texas Tech versus Florida, and then I don't believe Florida's going to get beat till I see it. So
Yeah, I agree with that. I've heard some talk on the internet. I was kind of bouncing around some YouTubes and people thinking that Maryland would match up well with Florida. I just think Florida's got too much firepower. They
got Twin Towers down there too.
Yeah, they've got a lot of big guys and they can play ball. So. All right, so Duke in the East, you get Duke and Bama. So it's I don't know that BYU's got enough firepower to stay with Bama. I would probably pick Alabama on that one.
Well, we had to beat the Catholics, and now we got to beat the Mormons, and then then we get a chance to play the Devils all before Easter. I feel like we're on a crusade.
You did some research.
I feel like
Look
we're on
at
a
you.
crusade here.
Look at you.
But nevertheless,
Look at you being topical and point. Boy, you brought something to the table there.
that's
See, that's a
it.
good job. Did you come up with that?
That's the time
On the fly?
Okay. That was
No,
good.
actually, I thought about it. I can't come up with anything on the fly.
So who'd they play? St. Mary's. So that's Catholic.
That's Catholic.
Okay, and then you got
the Mormons, Brigham Young.
what about Robert Morris? So he's the cigarette guy, right?
Well, yeah, we played a bunch of smokers, and they finally ran out of steam. They started coughing there at the end.
All right, so who you got? BYU. You
Okay,
got
I think Alabama may beat Brigham Young. I think Duke will beat Arizona, and then I hate to say it, but I'm afraid Duke's just got too many
a hard one.
weapons. So I'm gonna go with Duke. I'll pull for Alabama and get sent to my room, but I'm gonna say
I got to be
Duke.
honest with you. Even in the first two games, because Baylor's not exceptionally special, and Mount St. Mary's, I mean, they just demolished them. I'm not sure that Duke. If you go look with all ACC teams going out the first weekend, like completely gone, they're the only ACC team after the first round. So saying, well, we dominated the ACC, I mean, that's not something.
That used to be saying something. But,
Yeah.
but lately,
But
it
this
has not
year,
been.
and so it is just hard for me to get past the fact that they've not had to play a high quality team for an entire game with the pressure on. In fact, the only time that they did was when they lost at Clemson in the regular season. So I just don't know that Duke has really seen. I would be inclined to pick Duke, but I'm gonna go with Bama just because I want to see a Final Four with all SEC teams
I
just
do
for the
too.
fun of it.
Oh, that would be fun.
And so then you've got two SEC teams playing each other in the Midwest. You've got Tennessee and Kentucky, and then you've got Houston and Purdue. So we got to go to a break here in a second. Let's pause on that, and we'll come right back and finish that up before we get Paul Crawford on. You're listening to Lunch and watching Lunch with Bryan and Steve.
Stop treating your home like a storage bin. Make room for living with Wilson Storage. No matter the need or budget, Wilson Storage has the solution for you. They have gated standard units and climate control units. They have security cameras, alarms on every door, and 24-hour access. You can even rent or pay your bill online. Just go to wilsonstorage.com or call 256-845-1530. Wilson Storage is family owned and been serving our community since 1988. Wilson Storage in Fort Payne.
This is Bryan Jett, Superintendent for Fort Payne City Schools, and you're listening to Lunch with Bryan and Steve.
When you need to give something special, visit Tracy's in North Fort Payne. Beautiful floral arrangements, fresh or silk, stylish jewelry, scented candles and pampering products, cuddly stuffed animals, balloons, and candy. Tracy can help you put together the perfect gift and gourmet basket. Potted plants or hanging baskets with fresh spring flowers. At Tracy's, you're sure to find that unique gift that shows just how much you care. Tracy's is located at 2103 Galt Avenue in North Fort Payne. Open Monday through Friday from 8:30 to 5 and Saturdays from 9 to noon. For every occasion, visit Tracy's full-service florist, personalized printing, and gifts.
All right, we're back. Lunch with Bryan and Steve. Bryan Northcutt, Steve Chambers. We're in our second hour. Had a first hour with Mayor Brian Bane, and he delivered. I thought Brian delivered.
He didn't back away from anything.
No, he was hot topics all over the place. So let's finish this up, and we're going to bring it. Let's do this right now. Come on. We're going to introduce our second guest, and I'm going to go ahead and pull up his. Look here, look at fancy.
Oh, that's
so,
nice.
So Paul Crawford has joined us. We're going to zoom out. There we go. Paul Crawford has joined us with Fort Payne High School drama department. He's going to help us finish out our brackets. Are you ready?
That's fantastic.
So here we go.
Go SEC.
Go SEC. So we ended last segment and we did not get to the Midwest, which is Houston, Purdue, Kentucky, and Tennessee. So what do you got coming out of there? How do you think that's going to play out,
Well,
Steve?
I got Houston beating Purdue and Tennessee to beat Kentucky.
You know they're 0-2 against Kentucky. Did you know that? Kentucky's beat them twice this regular season. Is that right? Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I knew
Isn't that
Alabama had beaten Kentucky 3 times for the first time ever in one season.
Did they really in this tournament too?
Yeah.
Okay, so 3 times. All right, so I would go Houston as well over Purdue, and I would go Tennessee over Kentucky. Although it's going to be interesting to see now if Auburn and Ole Miss go through. Auburn's beaten Ole Miss 3 times. This will be the 4th time they would have played them if they beat Michigan State. Anyway,
if Tennessee and Houston play, that'll be 28-26. They play defense.
Some defense, boy.
Okay.
Those guys, they may have to have some extra EMT help on that. So, are you going to go Tennessee? I'm going to go Tennessee. I'm going all SEC.
Okay.
All right, and then who's your now? You going to pick Duke for national title?
I think Florida can beat Duke.
You think Florida? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So you got Florida. Sorry, we're going to bring Paul Crawford in.
I would agree with Florida. I think Florida.
You said you didn't know any brackets.
I've been watching. I just don't know the depth that you guys know.
Okay.
I mean, so I've been watching this, and by the time you get to this stage of the game, it can be anybody's game depending upon the barometric pressure.
That's true.
That
well,
is
we're in
correct. And
San
the dew
Antonio,
point.
Texas, so it'd be hot. It'd be hot and humid there, maybe.
I didn't mean that literally, but
Okay.
yes, I do understand what you're saying. So just in general, you can kind of flip a coin depending upon how, how does your toe feel that day? That might have a butterfly effect.
It really
that affects
does.
the outcome of
It
the
really
whole thing.
does. I mean, one game. It is an odd way to the way the games play out. You just don't know.
Right.
You don't know who's going to be hot. So really, you have to just go with odds-on favorite, and that would be Florida. I mean, if you go look across the board, they have very, very. It's hard to. They have a weakness. They've got great guard play.
Alabama hasn't found it.
Yeah, they've got great guard play. They've got the front court with the big guys, Hall and Condon, and who's the other big guy?
That one dude, mother-in-law, she's kind of rough. But other than that, I don't think they have any weaknesses.
I don't know that. Is that a joke? Okay.
It's as good as it's going to get for me. So basically, if you're looking at me for color commentary, that was it. That was it. So you kind of gotta take what I toss you there.
All right. I was going to say, if Alabama finds the three, they could win it. But when they find the three, then they quit being interested in defense. So I don't know.
So I asked Paul so we got our fancy new TV here, so he's got his name up here, but also got some other graphics that Paul wanted to share with us. So tell us, first off, let's get the kind of shameless plugs out of the way. We got something coming up. What we got?
Okay, so let's see, am I looking at y'all looking at the camera? I'll look at both. Okay, so
if I was you, I'd look at the camera.
As we deal, no. So anyway,
pattern here.
Yes, exactly. Looking at the northwestern part of the graphic. No, anyway, so what we have here is the senior play, and the senior play happens in the spring of every year.
Mm-hmm. I was in the senior play. Did you know that?
Oh, you were the lead.
Huh?
Weren't you the lead?
In my senior play.
What was your senior play?
It was Snoopy.
Now, that was back in 18...
It was right after Godfrey got made.
Yeah, 1889.
1889. That was a good year for Snoopy, yes. So we're doing the senior play, and it happens in the spring every time. By the way, later on, we can talk about some restructuring that's probably going to happen relative to the senior play. It's going to start next year. But anyway,
okay. Yeah,
we'll talk about that in a little bit. Anyway, so this year is Rapunzel, and we are running April 10th through the 13th at 7, and then April 12th and 13th at 2. So in other words, Thursday at 7, Friday at 7, Saturday at 2, Saturday at 7, and Sunday at 2.
Okay.
And the Sunday at 2 matinee, I always give, excuse me, the Sunday at 2 matinee, I give the students a chance to slide off the script a little bit, and it's usually a fun time for all the individuals to kind of see what's going to happen.
You're courageous.
I think I did that one time, and it's entertaining.
And I will say this: there was one time, and I'm not going to go into the story, but there was one time before I told them that there were repercussions if they did something that I did not know about. There was one time a gentleman made a very, very, very funny joke, and this was when it was still at the Opera House. The entire place just fell apart laughing, but he ended up being in school suspension for about a week due to the nature of the joke. So thankfully now I've put some stuff. Well, it was
apparently something wasn't quite right.
It was relative to.
Yeah,
it was
worth the in-school suspension.
In other words, 8-year-olds.
We're trying to make it through 4 shows, Paul.
8-year-olds didn't laugh.
We don't need you to pull us off the air.
But the 15-year-olds did. So let's put it that way. The 8-year-olds didn't know what everybody was laughing about, but 15 and up, they were literally in the floor.
Oh, wow.
And I hated it because it was a very funny joke. And I had to punish him because of the nature of the joke. But anyway, now I've got stop gaps put into place so that if a student does something that I don't know about, there will be repercussions. They understand this. I understand this. So yes, the Sundays at 2 are always a good time, and I'm always kind of holding my breath, but I'm not really holding my breath because I know that they understand the relationship between the director and the cast and the audience and, social expectations.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, anyway, Thursday at 7, Friday at 7, Saturday at 2, Saturday at 7, and Sunday at 2. Doing Rapunzel, some of the most talented kids I've had as of yet. So if you get a chance,
that's good.
Tickets are $8 a pop. And they used to be $5, but I had tickets at $5 for the past 25 years, and I'm sorry, the world changed around us.
Yeah,
and with
inflation
expenses,
finally caught up with the senior play.
yes, it did. With expenses, I had to bump them up to $8. There should be tickets available at the door at Williams Avenue, or from Cast and Crew, or from me. If you want to get me, I'm on Facebook. Y'all can find me there in social media, and I'll take it from that point.
Yeah. How many years have you done it? How many is this?
Good gosh, I started probably literally, I've been teaching 31 years. I started with, I guess, Sharon Totten at the time was doing the shows, and I got in on the audio side of that. So it's probably been 25 years that I've been involved. And then it slid to other individuals who different things at different times, through in and off. But I'd say I've been involved with it 24 years, 25 years.
Okay.
Long enough to be better at it than I am, but it's always still
So
fun.
Sharon took Winnie Scott's place?
I believe that is correct.
That's my director.
That was yours.
Yep. That was. Did you do a senior play?
I started to, but we used to do musicals until my
mine
senior
was a musical.
year. I know, and
did
my
Oklahoma.
senior
Where did
year
that
was.
little dog go?
We
He's
did,
not the puppy I know.
Yeah, we did. What was that? Our
That's
Town.
my song. That was my solo.
No, okay.
When you sang
We
it
did
solo,
Our
nobody
Town.
could-
We didn't
did-
have all the
yeah.
microphones. either.
Exactly.
We had to
Oh, I
project.
know.
Go ahead, Holly. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Sorry,
no,
you were talking.
No, yeah,
Go
that's
ahead.
okay. We did Our Town. I believe that was Our Town. Is that right?
Yes, that is
Yes.
one.
Kim Cockendall was the lead, and she went on to California to pursue an acting career.
Really?
Did y'all not know
didn't know that.
Kim Cockendall?
Not ringing a bell. I'm
Not
the
ringing
closest
a
one
bell.
to any.
Well, I think she's Kim Kendall or something now out in California. Anyway, so yeah, I started to, and then I quit halfway through because I was trying out for ballerinas at Jack State. Anyway, and yeah, I was a mess my senior year. So
Yeah, that's well. I funny story here. I was our starting catcher for the baseball team, and this tells you priorities back then and how everything kind of worked together. And so I hit we played at Emma Sansom.
Mhm.
Do you remember? Were you here for Emma Sansom?
I mean, I know Emma Sansom. I don't.
The school.
Used to be a
okay,
high school.
Is it not around anymore? I didn't know it wasn't here anymore.
No.
It might be a
That's-
junior high
that's what-
now.
yeah, I
it's
think
a
it is.
feeder school.
Anyway.
for
Okay, all
Gaston
right, all right.
City.
So
They were in our area, and so we're playing them in baseball, and we have dress rehearsal at the school. And so, I mean, I'm the lead, and there wasn't an understudy; it was me. So I had to leave in like the third or fourth inning of an area baseball game to go to.
Who was your coach?
It was we can tell that off air. You're not gonna. He got in some trouble a long time ago, but I'll tell you off air.
Don't look at me.
everybody's racking
wasn't
their
Paul
brains.
Crawford.
Who
Paul
was that?
My name is Bennett, and I ain't in it.
But I hit a home run in that game, and then had to leave, and they ended up losing the game for me to go. And not because I left, but
Sure.
we were up in that game, and I had to leave, and they had to put another catcher in because I had to go to dress rehearsal for Snoopy that year. But
I bet that just tickled him.
he loved it.
Well, but what's funny, and that's one of the things that makes going back to the restructuring and the rescheduling, the students, which in theory, if you look at it, yes, as a director, yes, it's something that I want to build. I have a desire to take an empty shoebox, and build a diorama in the thing with actual living people, which is one of the reasons I enjoy doing what I do. But the bottom line is, it's about the students that are doing what they do, and they are pulled in so many different directions in the spring to where you're dragging everybody into everything that they've got to be a part of. And it's very difficult.
Yeah.
Which again kind of goes back to the idea that we may restructure it next year to where the students who want to be in the spring production instead of a senior play have to be a part of the class, because it's just too hard to pull all the kids in and have a cohesion in time to get it done and get it clean. And from a production standpoint, it's not only is it almost impossible to get them there, then it's really almost impossible to get the thing up and running and clean so that you're not terrified by the time you try to put the whole thing on.
Yeah.
If you're putting a sports team on the field, you've got them long enough to know what your team is. If you've got a marching band that you're putting on the field, you've got them long enough to know what you're working with. When you put a show like this together and you're pulling strings from all of these other obligations that these students have, it's very difficult and blood pressure increasing trying to get this thing to have a jello by the time it's supposed to be jello. So there's going to be some restructuring relative to the show next year.
Okay.
Which actually I'm looking forward to it, because it also gives other students an opportunity to be in the show that couldn't be in it if it's basically just a senior class situation.
I got you. Okay. So now, how long have y'all been at Williams Avenue?
What is this,
4
our
years?
fourth year? It was after COVID.
Okay. All right. So how has that been?
I love it.
I'm sorry. got to go to break.
Yeah.
Sorry. Hold that thought.
I will.
We'll come back and talk about that after break. We're listening. You're listening. We're talking with Paul Crawford here on Lunch with Bryan and Steve. We'll be right back after this.
DeKalb Fix-It Appliance Warehouse is a mouthful, so Terry and Bobby have decided to drop the fix-it and focus on giving you the best prices on new appliances. Whirlpool, KitchenAid, Maytag, Amana, LG, Samsung, GE, and more. Up to 75% off retail price on new scratched and dent appliances. And as your Electrolux and Frigidaire dealer, DeKalb Appliance Warehouse is passing on more savings to you with even more new in-box selections. Need a refrigerator? Come in today and shop our overstocked warehouse. You will not get a better deal anywhere. We guarantee to match or beat any price. In-house service available to all as well. Used appliances will now be available at our previous location on Godfrey Avenue, along with the same computer sales and repairs our customers have come to enjoy. The DeKalb Appliance Warehouse is open weekdays 9 to 5, Wednesdays and Saturdays 9 to 2, located on Airport Road in Fort Payne. Stop treating your home like a storage bin. Make room for living with Wilson Storage. No matter the need or budget, Wilson Storage has the solution for you. They have gated standard units and climate control units. They have security cameras, alarms on every door, and 24-hour access. You can even rent or pay your bill online. Just go to wilsonstorage.com or call 256-845-1530. Wilson Storage is family owned and been serving our community since 1988. Wilson Storage in Fort Payne. With summer just around the corner, it's time to schedule your pool opening with Rawson Pools. With 30 years of experience installing, repairing, and maintaining pools, Rawson Pools is your best choice to keep that backyard getaway the envy of the neighborhood. And for all you who enjoy servicing your own pool, Rawson Pool has a supply store stocked with the highest quality products and materials to keep your pool ready for those hot summer days. Rawson Pool and Supply Store is located in Rainsville on Main Street next to Toke Restaurant. Rawson Pool and Supply Store, the pool professionals.
We are back. Lunch with Bryan and Steve. Bryan Northcutt, Steve Chambers here, speaking with Fort Payne drama teacher Paul Crawford. Paul, we played a game with Mayor Bane earlier, and we're going to play it with you now. So
I'm excited.
You excited? So here's the deal.
Yes.
You're going to be more adept than any of these people in here because you deal with high school kids.
More deaf?
More adept.
Okay, yeah.
Adept.
That too.
That
Okay.
too.
Yes.
So you're familiar with the term brain rot words.
Brain rot
Come on.
words.
Yes.
Wow, he's not.
You're not-
Words that.
Rot your brain.
What world
Rot
do you
your
live in, Brian?
Can you give me an example of a brain?
We're going to do
Yeah, yeah.
absolutely. I can.
As long
Here's
as you
just
give me some more.
So here's the
some
game.
more Velcro. I'll try.
Here's the game. I'm going to give you a couple that are fairly popular. I know you're going to have heard the word. So the challenge is this: even if you don't know what that brain rot word means,
Yes.
you're going to make it up.
Sure.
Okay.
Right.
So here we go. So first one, and this is the one my kids love the most: skibbity.
Skibbity.
You've heard skibbity, right?
Skibbity.
Have you heard it? in
I
the
have
school?
heard skibbity once or twice, but I've ignored it every time I've heard it.
So tell me what you think skibbity means.
Skibbity is what you put around your waist as soon as you get out of the shower. You put on a skibbity.
That's pretty good.
Thank you.
Okay, skibbity actually can mean.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, you actually got it right. All right, so it can mean good, cool, bad, evil, or dumb, depending on the context.
So it's a word that means nothing.
It means everything and nothing at the same time.
Wow.
Okay, so this is one that
Aloha.
I knew this was what this was going to be, and I was afraid that that's what this
I want to
was
ask
going
him
to
one
be.
that. Okay, so do you know what? Have you heard Delulu?
Delulu.
Yes.
I have not heard Delulu.
Okay, so if I
I
said
dated her once in college.
And she was a Lulu.
Whew. Oh, everybody said, "Oh, you're dating her, Delulu."
okay, that's close.
Okay.
you're actually
Yeah.
in the area now. So if I said
Is she?
Holly is Delulu,
She's smoking hot.
no. It's actually short for delusional.
Oh,
So if you said Paul is Delulu,
Then I'm
he's
delusional.
He's a little bit delusional. Okay, so
If someone said that.
all right.
right.
Do you know? Have you heard? I know you've heard Riz.
I have heard Riz.
Okay. Do you know what Riz means?
I believe Riz means that you're skinning somebody up.
Is that an analogy or is that literal?
No, like back in the day, your boys would skin you up. Like you get a free bowl of soup with that haircut. Is that a Riz?
Riz means charisma. So it's like when you're
I stand corrected.
So when you're like trying to hit on a young lady, if you're a guy and you're hitting on a young lady,
So
you're
you're
rizzing
like,
her up,
so
you're showing her charisma.
how
you're
you
kinda-
doing?
Yeah, exactly. The Joey,
Joey Tribbiani.
Joey Tribbiani.
Back in the day.
Back
when
in the
you-
day, yeah. Okay. All right.
All right. So here's another one. Let's go with one. How about yeet? Do you know what yeet means?
Yeah.
I have heard.
Have you heard that one, Holly?
I've
My
heard
kids
yeet.
used to say yeet all the time.
I've heard it 3 million
I'm
times.
gonna yeet
and I
you out
think
the
it's-
window.
I think it's a meaningless yay kind of thing. Isn't that right?
You know what?
No.
That's actually it's used to show excitement or surprise in various
Oh,
situations.
really?
We'll
Okay.
allow it.
It's a
Okay,
thank
so
you.
I think that counts, judges.
Yeet. Okay.
Ding, 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 ding.
Okay, so let's
There's
say
been ever a disposable term. I think that's the most disposable of all of them.
All right. Here we go. Here's one more. And this was one that Mayor Bane had. No, he did. He guessed at this. Bussin'. Have you heard bussin'?
Bussin'. I have not. Now, of course, being a history teacher, there's that. Bussin' kids to school, but bussin'. I have no idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got nothing. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
bussin' means that when something is excellent, delicious, flavorsome, or exceeds expectation. So we say this lunch with Bryan and Steve is bussin'.
Yeah.
We're exceeding
Wow.
expectations.
What's the root of that?
I really don't know.
If somebody says someone is drippy relative to their style,
Yes.
I can
Yeah.
kind of see the tie into that.
Yeah.
But bussin', I don't understand.
I thought they were cleaning tables.
That's fair. That's fair.
Well-
I did work at Red Lobster back in the day.
Well,
Yeah, I
you
know.
really?
See,
I
that's
did.
what I thought. There was another one that
we
my
don't, they're not a sponsor. We can't say that.
I did work at a restaurant.
We're
that
shutting all
used-
those downs anyway.
Yeah, I know, right? Like a Kmart.
yeah, my son uses the word cap.
Cap. Do you know what cap means?
Cap?
I do know that
As
one.
in bust A?
No,
No,
that's different.
no,
that's Compton.
that's
Sorry.
our generation.
Right.
That's our generation.
Cap. What's
No,
up, Captain?
No cap.
Like,
No
no
cap.
cap.
Captain?
Like it's a lie. It's a lie. Like it's not true.
That's
That's
true.
cap,
cap
man.
means like when you say no cap. It means I'm
Yeah.
telling you the truth.
I'm
And my
glad I'm old.
16-year-old
This is too much
hates
work.
it when I use these words. If I use these words, which I usually don't.
Oh yeah. Hey, listen, go get you a dictionary of this and write a paragraph and read it and just watch the kids in your class. Just
Did you-
go, Mr. Crawford?
they
stop.
yes, they just
They melt
especially
down.
my middle schoolers because
Oh, yeah.
now I'm working at the middle school as well as the high school.
Oh, who'd you make mad?
Yeah, well, no, yes and no, yes and no. It is
Job security.
it's a blessing, and it's a blessing. It just really is. And they
good.
keep
That's
me
good.
young,
I hear what
and
you're
they
saying.
take days off my life.
That is an interesting. I got 2 in the house right now.
I mean, it's a beautiful age group.
Almost 3,
It's
really.
a beautiful because doors are open and mentally all over the place, but then doors are open and mentally all over the place. So as a result,
Literally
you
all
kinda-
over the place.
So I think I've asked you this personally just because it intrigues me, and so I think it would intrigue everybody else. How did you get to walk us to Fort Payne from where you're from, how you got here, and all that?
Here's the Reader's Digest condensed version. Graduated from Robert S. Alexander High School in Douglasville, Georgia,
Okay.
which is where I grew up. Graduated in 1989. My dad retired from the phone company from, I guess it was South Central Bell at the time. They moved to Randolph County, Alabama.
Okay. Woo, boy, that sticks.
It is, yes. So we
Is
went
that
from
Wedowee?
suburb of Wedowee called Woodland, Alabama.
I know where Woodland
Woodland's
is.
a beautiful, beautiful place, gorgeous place.
I know some people from Woodland.
You're
too.
probably knowing my cousins then.
They got a solid football program, by the way.
I mean, again, and I look at this town. It's a beautiful town, gorgeous town, lovely people. They're all my relatives. But as an individual who was right out of high school, okay, that's fine. So I went from there to JSU.
Okay.
Went to Jacksonville, marched Southerners for 2 years.
Hey, Holly.
Hey,
Yep, marched Southerners.
well, my husband marched Southerners.
I marched saxophone until.
Is that the term, March Southerners? That's how you call it?
Yeah, you
Sure.
marched.
Is that how y'all speak to each other?
Yeah, you marched.
General
I
labor
I was a
brigade or something.
vocalist, so I didn't march.
You were
Um,
what?
I just married a vocalist, but
the
I
band?
married.
No, in the music department.
Okay.
So she was
I thought
doing-
she was a marching
she was
Southerner.
I was in the choral
But she
program.
did say earlier that
But
she
I
was
married
auditioning for
a
the ballerinas
Southerner.
as
Yeah,
well.
Yeah,
I
but
thought-
I didn't make
You weren't a
ballerinas.
ballerina?
No, I was
You
not a
could've sung
ballerina.
as a ballerina, and that would have been
No,
impressive.
no,
You don't
didn't
know what
have
you're
didn't have
talking
that.
I did not.
You didn't go to Jacksonville,
did
did you? You don't know anything about that.
I did not.
So okay then.
I'm
No,
a
no.
Alabama Crimson Tide.
So anyway, went to JSU, March Southerners until Dr. Walters retired. After Dr. Walters retired, the flavor of the program shifted. Started playing music on the weekends in a country band at Frank's Seafood in Lincoln, Alabama. That is not a plug because Frank's
They're not anywhere close.
Frank's
They're
burned-
on the sponsor list.
No. Frank's burned down.
Oh,
I believe
They
because
would've
Frank
been.
Frank may have needed some insurance money. Seriously, no lie. Cross Porky's with a retirement home, and that was Frank's Seafood in Lincoln, Alabama.
With a
I'm not kidding. And so I was drumming. I
We're
was
still
drumming
interested too, Brian.
I was drumming to Solid Country Gold. You know, your wife's been cheating on us again, stuff like that. And then, anyway, so I originally wanted to go into communications, doing stuff like you guys are doing right now. The line for the communications building to register for classes was too long. The line at the education building was short. So as a result,
That was it.
that was it. That really was. That really was.
The
So
Lord
I-
led you.
So by indirect direction, and so I signed up for education. Got my master's eventually in English and secondary in history, and then I shotgunned applications all throughout the state. And my dad talked to the gentleman that was the principal at Woodland High School that first year, or Woodland School. So my first year out of college, kind enough for the principal to kind of wedge me in there. I taught half the day at Woodland School, half the day at Randolph County High School, driving on into Dowie. And then after that first year, I realized that the only people there that were good looking were my cousins. So as a result, it was, which, you know, maybe, I mean, you know,
it's
it's,
Randolph
That's
County.
not an
you
obstacle
know,
there, is it?
it's not, it may not be Arkansas, but still,
Close
close
behind.
enough, right? So anyway, with that being said, I decided that I needed to do something else. I got an interview with Ronald Bell at Fort Payne High School.
he's a good
Love that
man.
man. He's a good guy. I was wearing my Jerry Garcia tie into the interview.
I know
Because,
that
you know,
impressed Mr.
because,
Bell.
hey, I was an English teacher. You know, I was. So anyway, wore my Jerry Garcia tie and had a good interview, and he hired me. And then that's how I got to Fort Payne, Alabama.
Wow.
And then, thankfully, my wife, which would become my wife, graduated the year before I got hired. I was working with Becky Rogers, who was a band director at the time. My wife was a former majorette for her. She saw me on the television when we were talking about going to block scheduling. And then she decided that she wanted to go out with me because of course I had
Riz.
I had so much Riz that I didn't know what to do, and I didn't ask her out until the 6
Jerry
months later.
Garcia tie.
Yeah, the Jerry Garcia tie. I was all
She
introverted.
rizzed you up. The kids would say she rizzed
She
you up.
rizzed me up, and of course my game was so strong.
Your aura was like 10,000.
Exactly. I was like that guy that rolls a 20-sided die for charisma, and see, that shows you right there how little charisma I had because I just rolled a 20-sided die. About 3 people in the audience right now are going, "Oh, that guy! I know what he's talking about." But anyway, then later on, we got married.
That's
had
half
kids,
our audience, by
and
the way.
I've been a pillar of the community ever since.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just ask me, I'll tell you.
So I had some fun just going picking. Here's some video or some pictures. This is your middle school group right here.
That
right?
is my middle school
What was this
group.
show?
This was when we did the Three Little Pigs.
Okay.
The beautiful thing about doing what I do the way I do, I try to write my shows so I can adapt it to the kids. So I wrote the Three Little Pigs for this show. And again,
Cool.
please don't ask me any names. I love all of these
She's
people,
in
but I
those
don't
two
do
in the
names.
youth group with.
Yes, they are. And I know this one just was the Cowardly Lion.
So these
in
are the
DeKalb.
doors open kids. The doors are all open.
Oh Lord, yes. These guys are awesome.
Yeah.
Got a couple of my high schoolers that helped me out with the production as well.
Okay.
But yes, a very fun group. And the idea was to build a feeder program that feeds from this into the high school.
Got you.
And I may not be able to keep all of these, but if I can keep 2 or 3 of them, then
You know what?
they will become heavy hitters that
Yeah.
will stay with me for the whole
Yeah,
time.
and that's good for them.
Every
so.
time I passed him at the high school when we talked together, I said, "Oh, great one," and he would just.
I don't know how to respond to this, but there's your salute and love you too there, buddy. Kept
So
on
you're
going.
similar to me in that you've got like 5 or 6 jobs. So let's talk a little bit about your in the community stuff. You're a member of the Locals, if anybody's ever heard of them.
So I have been a musician ever since I can remember.
Yeah, every time I turn around, you're on stage somewhere doing something.
Jerry Davis, who was when we were at First Presbyterian, Brother Jerry, when me and Becky were going through, pre-marriage stuff, we were talking about me playing music. He said, "You know why you play music?" I said, "No, sir, I never really thought about it." He said, "You play music because the sun comes up." And for whatever reason, there are things that people do.
I'm gonna write that down.
There are things that people do.
That's a song, isn't it?
That, yeah, maybe that they will sacrifice other things for because they can't help but do it.
Yeah.
So the Locals is our what's the word you're looking for? It's not sacred. It is secular. The Locals is my secular musical outlet. So it's me.
Very good. Yeah.
Well, thank you. It is me, Rob Bouchard, Curtis Strange, and when we play full electric, Brian Heckler.
Yeah.
On drums.
Brian's good on drums.
Oh my gosh, he's fantastic.
Is he still a math teacher at high school?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he does that.
There you go.
Rob's a chiropractor.
I call him the calculator. So anyway, so we got Heckler on drums. We got me and Curtis and Rob. So me and Curtis and Rob are at our church.
Yeah,
as 3/8 of the praise team,
sometimes
depending upon how you calculate. And so
reduce it.
We do. All three of us really enjoy both the sacred and the secular part of it.
Well, God made it all.
So that's true, and I don't want to become too caught up in that aspect of it, but I will in just a second. So the Locals is the best group I've been in ever since I've been doing this. I've been in Grateful Dead cover bands. I've been in Fish, Widespread Panic cover bands. I've been in country bands. I've done pretty much everything. And the thing I love about the Locals is vocally, when we are on,
it's good.
We all have good enough ears to know that if the three of us are singing and you've got it, I'm singing underneath you.
Yeah, right.
If you've got it, we're both singing underneath
That's rare
him.
too, by the way.
And you can hear and you know how to adjust what needs to be adjusted as
Yeah.
you go. So this is us, and like I said, acoustic, electric, private, corporate, wedding. We're trying to split the difference between being a yacht rock cover band and just taking songs that are good songs on their own merit and putting them into a bag. I mean, and how do you brand that? We're not a country band.
Yeah.
We're no longer a yacht rock band because we got some Nirvana and we do Rusty Cage and we got some Soundgarden.
Golly.
But, we try and find all of the good ones and shuffle them into a deck of cards that everybody that could possibly want to hear something will hear us do what we do. And I'm not floating my own boat, but I am. We do what we do well.
Mm-hmm.
And I can say that because I've been in groups that don't.
Yeah.
And we work hard to do what we do well.
Yep.
So anyway, that's the secular version. The sacred version, if you will, as close as we can get to being sacred. We took, the three of us went to, with Randall Ham, and last night we did a prison ministry.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
The thing is, we try, as humans, we try to do what we can do as best we can. And then sometimes, hold that thought.
Can we set that?
I almost butted in.
That's really good. I want to reset that up at the next segment. So because I want to give you plenty of time to talk about that. We're talking with Paul Crawford, Fort Payne High School drama teacher and member of the Locals, the band. And we're going to come right back and finish this story on Lunch with Bryan and Steve. We'll be right back.
My Supply is my hometown hardware store. At My Supply, I never have to wander aimlessly around the store looking for what I need. I know that when I walk through the door, I'm going to be greeted by a person and helped right away. So whether you're looking for plumbing, electrical, hand or power tools, welding supplies, standard or metric fasteners, or anything else to help with your home projects and repairs, shop My Supply on Godfrey Avenue in Northeast Fort Payne. Open Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. My Supply, your hometown hardware store.
This is Robbie Coker with the Fort Payne Wildcats, and you're listening to Lunch with Bryan and Steve on WCOB.
Do you need to declutter? Wish you could free up some valuable space at work or home? Helium Mini Storage has climate control units available, and all their units are gated for maximum protection. You can also store your stuff at home with their Four Seasons or Max Steel storage buildings for sale. Just come by Hillier Mini Storage on Galt Avenue in North Fort Payne. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 4. And while you're there, be sure to check out play sets for the kids. Store your stuff with Hillier Mini Storage.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen out there in Radio Land. This is Paul Crawford from Fort Payne High School and the Locals, and you're at lunch with Bryan and Steve.
Thank you very much, Paul. We're glad to have you here with us in studio.
I've got a face for radio.
You may have missed your calling.
That's right.
I may have. Hey, I did want to go into communications,
He
but
gave
you
us
know,
give us the spiel on this. He knows everything about this.
this is a
microphone.
Shure SM7, or it may be an SM7B. I'm not actually sure. It does have a low cut on the back of it to decrease the proximity effect that you may experience when you lead into a cardioid microphone, as opposed to an omnidirectional microphone, which does not lend itself to the proximity
All right.
effect.
Steve, what did he just say?
He said he's electronically gifted.
In other words, it gets boomier when you lead into it.
He knows his microphones.
The
Well,
compressor
nothing wrong
hits
with boomier, I
harder because you're leaning into the microphone due to the proximity effect.
Wow. Okay. No idea. All right. So last segment, let's go back. We were talking about the Locals and how when the sun rises, that's when you know it's time to play music or whatever the pastor said to you.
Something along those lines. Yeah, that's close enough for jazz. Yeah.
But then you were talking about, and I wanted to give you another whole segment to talk about this and tease this out. So talk about what you were saying before the break.
So, to people, oh God, this is going to sound so. I don't mean it to sound pretentious.
No.
But please understand, it's honest.
Yeah.
And me and Rob and Curtis, we've had these discussions to where, when we played the secular with the Locals, we leave there feeling good about how we did it.
Yeah.
Haha, we did this.
Yep.
But we know it's not just us, but at the time it gets to be about us.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore it strokes the ego of the musician while we had a really good night, or, you know, we come home, how'd you do? I'd say it was an 87. We didn't have that great of a night. How about tonight? Man, tonight was a 97. Excuse me. We nailed everything tonight. Holy cow, we were on. You were on, dude. That part was really da-da-da. Now, the other part of that is on Sunday mornings, when we are the praise team, that is still fed, but it's very cool because it is so much easier to remove the self from what you're doing. And when it really lands on Sunday morning, then you can see that you're not just making that dude over there at the edge of the bar shake his hiney. You're making that person, through the word of God and through the spirit thereof, as best as we can do.
Right.
Speaking for myself.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, I don't mean to sound presumptuous or arrogant or anything.
Sure.
But I do know that it's not me doing it. It's moving through me.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I've been blessed to have that as a God-given talent, which I truly believe. And again, please don't think I'm saying that I am good. I'm just saying it's nice when I get out of the way.
Yeah.
And it moves through. And I'm sure that preachers feel the same way. I'm sure that actors on stage feel the same way.
Sure.
I'm sure that when we are being secular and we're doing that, it feels that way. But it's beautiful when you do it through a religious sense.
Through ministry.
Yeah.
And in
you're
ministry, as
ministering to
best
people's
as my
hearts.
little ignorant self can approach it, it's just cool because it's the same thing as creating the senior play. It's the same thing as working with the middle school kids. It's the same thing as teaching, except for it's cleaner because I'm out of the way.
Well, if you're familiar with the Chariots of Fire story and Eric Little in the Olympics, and he was kind of in this controversy with his family about, you're not supposed to run. God's called you to be a missionary. Why are you going and run and all this? And he tells, I think it's his sister in the movie, he says, but God made me fast. And when I run, I feel his pleasure.
Right.
So I think that's what you're
And
saying.
that's a very, I can't speak for him, of course, but that's a very good analogy between the two. If this is it's like if somebody is, Pablo Picasso, or if somebody is, who was my favorite impressionist, the dude that cut off his ear.
Van Gogh?
Yes, bless his heart, tortured soul. But if
Yes,
if you're Van Gogh, you do what you do.
Yeah.
darn the consequences.
Yeah.
Because something bigger is pushing you to do what you do.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not saying that I'm doing it. I'm saying that I've been blessed by God to allow that to
You
exist.
mentioned the prison thing. So
And thank you for bringing that back around.
Yeah.
So when we did the prison ministry last night, I was brought to tears because, again, it was beautiful because it wasn't me. There was another individual there who went up to the front after communion, and that individual began to pray. And these men, and I sat and I looked at these men who were there, who are incarcerated. I don't know their stories. I don't know the time frame. I don't know any of this, except for these men are in this room, and that door doesn't open until somebody opens that door for them.
Yeah.
And when this man went to the front and he kneeled down and he broke down into tears, and the rest of the men in this room, may be hardened criminals, may not, I don't know their stories, but these men who are incarcerated came up around this man, placed their hands on him.
It's powerful.
And that was the Spirit of God there. And then you put all that into place, and here I am speaking this story to you, which goes out through this to whomever. It's just sometimes it's so easy to be overwhelmed by the sheer magnitude and power of the everything, which is God.
Yeah.
And all we're doing as little humble humans, trying to figure out how we can better ourselves as we move through it.
Yep.
And now that I'm 53 years old, I do get to turn around and look back at what I've done. And I'm not the same person I was when I first started teaching.
Yeah.
You know, I'm still the guy that would like to wear the Jerry Garcia tie because I'm still classically that freedom of thinking. But now that you have family, and now that you have these students that you're responsible for, now that you have all of these complications that life brings, you have to sit back and look at it and say, okay, what is the absolute cleanest, best way I can approach this? And then when I don't approach it that way, I just have to ask for forgiveness and get up and try again.
Yeah.
Because again, the mercy of God, and I don't mean to go to church, but the mercy of God.
Oh, come on, we're all right.
That's okay.
The
We're
mercy,
you're among
the mercy,
you're among
the
family.
mercy of God was in that room, in that prison ministry. The mercy of God is in our church and every church. The mercy of God right now is in this room, in this discussion. And the more the individual learns from their mistakes and tries, doesn't mean you're going to hit it, but tries to adjust relative to the everything that's quietly smacking us around and nudging us. By the time you're through, you get to turn around and look where you've been and say, you know what? I had a pretty good run with it.
There was some sovereignty there.
Right.
Yeah, I actually, oddly enough, years ago, this has been probably 30 years ago, I was able to go lead worship for a speaker at a prison. And I found, one, the men there were completely out of tune, could not sing a lick. But they sang loud and proud, and it was the loudest, most obnoxious, out of tune, and they were worshiping.
Yeah.
Like it was... And it brought me to tears. Like they're blowing. I'm trying to lead them, and they're leading me in the song, just blasting these songs, praising God, and probably more free than people outside the prison because their heart was set
True.
free.
And I looked at these men. You know what? They looked like they were so hungry. To live free again.
Yeah.
And I know they have their obligations to the consequences of their actions. But I'd be willing to bet that once those are answered, it's almost like they were living bigger than I am.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I could see, I mean, just sitting there, living bigger. But bless their hearts, they're contained.
Yeah.
But they're living bigger than I am.
Was this in Fort Payne or down in Springville?
This was here in Fort Payne.
In Fort Payne.
Wow.
Yeah, okay.
That's cool.
I think Randall has a
Yes.
ministry down there.
Yes,
also.
Randall's doing
He
a lot of
he
he's
gets
doing a lot of good work.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
is.
Hey, thank you for coming on. It's been a blast. I hope you'll come back and I
Hey,
hope you had fun.
I'll be honest with you. This was more fun, and I didn't say anything that's going to get me fired, so that's good.
I don't think so.
Or if it did, y'all are going to edit it out. This is all pre-recorded, right?
That's right. The thing we
Okay.
talked about off air will not be mentioned on air.
Good, and it won't be. That's close enough
Do we
right
have time
there,
for
buddy.
do we have time for his trivia question?
Mute button.
Oh yeah.
Trivia question.
Oh no. No.
Real
No.
quick.
Real quick. Go.
Okay.
It was me.
What talented musician?
Okay.
What talented musician performed Silent Night on the saxophone to close Christmas Eve service 4 years ago at Fort Payne First Methodist Church? And I've begged him to do it again, and he never has.
That would be me.
That would be.
That would be me. However, I do think I'm playing saxophone on Palm Sunday.
Well,
Are you really?
I'll be there.
Good.
Yeah.
Paul Crawford, fantastic having you with us. Lunch with Bryan and Steve. Take
Thank
care,
you.
my brother.
Gentlemen, appreciate
Thank
it.
you, young man.
All right, we'll be right back to wrap things up. Thanks for listening to Lunch with Bryan and Steve.
Stop treating your home like a storage bin. Make room for living with Wilson Storage. No matter the need or budget, Wilson Storage has the solution for you. They have gated standard units and climate control units. They have security cameras, alarms on every door, and 24-hour access. You can even rent or pay your bill online. Just go to wilsonstorage.com or call 256-845-1530. Wilson Storage is family owned and been serving our community since 1988. Wilson Storage in Fort Payne.
This is Bryan Jett, Superintendent for Fort Payne City Schools, and you're listening to Lunch with Bryan and Steve.
So long. Cheers. Adios. Bye, Felicia. Don't let the door hit you.
More and more people are saying goodbye to pests with Safe Solutions Plus LLC. And it's no wonder with their top-notch customer service, quality products, and lower prices. And now with their new website, it's never been easier to manage your pest control service with Safe Solutions Plus. Just visit sspestandtermite.com to view your billing details, make payments online, and review past services. Family owned and operated, Safe Solutions Plus is located at 934 Main Street West in Rainsville. Call 256-638-7378. Safe Solutions Plus, protecting homes and businesses one solution at a time.
Hey then. Bye.
We are back with Lunch with Bryan and Steve. Bryan Northcutt, Steve Chambers. Steve, enjoyed this. This was a fun show.
Paul said that he couldn't keep up with us. I couldn't keep up with Paul.
He's good. I
Good.
told him.
He's
I
great.
told him when I invited him on. I said, "You be you and just go in there and ham it up." And he's like, "You sure?" I said, yeah, "Absolutely." So fantastic guest today, Brian Bane. Thank you for dropping by. Paul Crawford, Fort Payne High School drama teacher. Next week, I know we've got one booked, and that's the DeKalb County Superintendent Wayne Lyles is scheduled to be on the show next week. We're still working on the other guests, but we will keep you posted as soon as we find that out. So for Steve Chambers, I'm Bryan Northcutt, Holly Allen producing, Cindy Bynum over there in the other room recording, and Tim Dobson, everybody here at ZOB. We're thankful for you guys, and we'll see you next week on another episode of Lunch with Bryan and Steve.
Thank you.